semi-final draw has been made, and Halifax will play St Helens, who are the favourites for the cup, and Warrington will play Hull FC. Now it promises to be a great day at Bolton. Jack, who makes the final and who wins it?
I think there's probably two obvious choices, but as with the Challenge Cup, every year you can never predict it with a massive amount of confidence. There's always teams that will upset you. I think if we look at the Saints-Halifax game, obviously Saints are runaway favourites. I mean, Halifax are still 250 to 1 to actually win the thing, so with Saints being the favourites at 1 to 2, but I think my heart is saying Halifax will at least give it a good go, but you can honestly see it being Saints by 40-50 points.
I think Scott Morell's going to get man of the match, and Halifax are going to win by 2.
To be fair, it would be an absolute Challenge Cup fairy tale, wouldn't it, if Halifax managed to get the win. I can't see it personally happening, but we can all sort of hope for them. I think the entire... any fan that isn't a Saints fan is going to be back in Halifax without a doubt. Everyone loves an underdog story, especially theirs. They've been sort of like the Championship good guys. You mentioned how they've sort of struggled as a since the game went professional, but have always sort of been there and thereabouts and brought about some cracking wins. So I think, like you said, it'll be a great day for their fans.
They've got an attitude, Halifax, and unlike other semi-professional teams that seem to struggle, they've got an attitude with the way that they bring through players and the way that they play the game, and it's come a lot from the coaching over the years. But Halifax as a club, no matter what's happened to them, what coaching changes, what players they've lost, they've always managed to develop this team and continue to push for high bracket championship finishes. They're always thereabouts in the top 4. And it's a credit to them that they deserve to be there, which I think why a lot of the rugby league fan base is very happy to see them there as well.
Without a doubt, they are such a positive club in that championship, and you mentioned the reserve system. They're one of the big sort of advocates for it, and have seen so much success. I mean, the hero of the weekend, James Woodburn-Hall, is one of the sort of the products from that. I think he started out his career at London in Super League when they were on their real the depths of Super League, when they were going really downhill. But he then moved up to Yorkshire, signed on with the Halifax Academy, while also playing University Rugby League, and has built his way up through that team. And he then got his moment at the weekend, obviously with that cracking tries, 2 dummies to go over the line. Another one, Chester Butler, has just signed with Huddersfield for next year. It shows that what they're doing is right, and this is a perfect reward for the hard work they've put in, I think. On to the other game as well, Warrington Hull. I think that's obviously the one that's harder to call. Like you mentioned about Hull.
Yeah.
Hull are so inconsistent, you can never call what they're going to do. They are one of those individual game teams where when it's a Challenge Cup you can't say what they're going to do. But by the same token, Warrington's Challenge Cup record speaks for itself. So.
It's a bit strange because it feels like the St Helens Catalans game last year. It feels like
does a bit.
Warrington should win this game, like St Helens should have won that game. But Catalans, when they turned up last season, could beat anybody.
Yeah.
And Hull, when they turn up, could
beat
beat anybody.
Yeah.
So
I think the thing with that is obviously Hull have gone to Warrington and won recently, so they'll fancy the chances. Obviously they won the 2016 Challenge Cup final against Warrington. They've only lost one Challenge Cup game in the last 3-4 years.
Exactly.
So I think in a one-off Challenge Cup game, I think Hull will be very confident going into this, and I actually think it's 50-50. I don't make Warrington massive favourites in this at all. But yeah, if we just look at the odds with Coral, who are sponsoring the Challenge Cup this year, as you mentioned, Halifax 250 to 1, and we've got Hull FC.
I reckon it's worth a punt.
It's worth a quid. And then we've got Hull FC at 6 to 1, Warrington 9 to 4, and St Helens are big favourites at 1 to 2. Now, in one word, Sean, who for you wins the Challenge Cup?
Halifax.
I can't take that serious.
No,
I'd love it to be fair. I would love Halifax to win.
I'm stuck between my heart and my head. It's anybody but Saints. But,
yeah.
No, see, I think Saints will win.
I think Saints.
For me, it's
I think
Saints.
Saints will win.
I've said it a couple of times. I think Saints can do the treble this year, and I can see that happening quite
and they've
easily.
got more stability than they had last year.
They've got a lot of stability, and on their day they are absolutely unplayable.
But there's a lot of time between now and the semi-finals, and that's important. It was this time last year that Saints started to fall apart.
Yeah.
And it's important for St Helens that they continue the consistency that they've built over the last few weeks into the Challenge Cup semi-final, and they don't stop playing 3 or 4 weeks before and then go into a game where they start to struggle.
Yeah, I'm with Jack. I honestly feel if St Helens win the Challenge Cup, I think they'll have the momentum then to go on and win the grand final. But if they don't win the Challenge Cup, if they
Could go all on.
yeah, they'll probably just win the league leader
But you
shield.
see, it's worked the opposite way in recent years. You look at
Yeah.
those Leeds teams that won in 2014 and 2015. They had I can't remember what they call it. There was a Challenge Cup.
Hangover.
Hangover, that's the word. Challenge Cup hangover. I couldn't even remember the word.
Have you got a hangover?
I can promise I don't know. But yeah, Challenge Cup hangover, that's the right word. Where I think Leeds just couldn't win a game after they won those, so it can have an adverse effect. And yes, this Saints team has a lot of stability, and they've got a cracking setup, but it's one of those things that could go two ways. But on this subject, on who's going to win, I think Saints will win the cup.
And just lastly, obviously the semi-finals, the two semi-finals are combined with the Women's Challenge Cup final in Bolton, so it's a triple header all on the same day. You a fan of that idea?
I am. I'm a fan of, and we had me and Jack had a conversation about the Women's Super League coming out here today, and I think the Women's Super League has got a lot of time to develop. I think people are trying to expect a lot of it straight away. I think you've got to give it 5-10 years. You've got to give it that sort of journalistic integrity, sort of people building it up, and people just trying to improve it from the people that they left it, and etc. And over time it will grow. And giving it a platform like this, where, okay, let's be honest, 20,000 people are going to be there for Saints Halifax, probably not. Which means there probably won't be 20,000 there for the women's final, but it will probably be the highest attended women's game ever. Given that the highest attendance so far is less than 2,000, I imagine there'll be more than that there for it. Which can only be a positive thing moving forward.